Hey guys, this is KSP with Tape, and today I'm doing probably a fairly quick video about the mods I'm using in the Rescaled Kerbin series. I'm partly doing this because I'm going to Mexico in less than a week, and I have done zero pre-recording. I am working on stuff, but the problem with doing Rescaled Kerbin Project Moon is the launch vehicles take so long to develop because they have to work in the real-sized world. So yeah, I'm working on that. So anyway, I thought I would just go through mods I use in Rescaled Kerbin, and maybe some I use anyway. Right, so Rescaled Kerbin is obviously, the main one I use is Rescaled Kerbin. That kind of fairly important. Coupled with that, I have to use Ferrum Aerospace, really, for realism, and because it would be very hard to get out of the atmosphere when the lower stage is soupy with the stock atmosphere. So those aren't really parts-based ones. But yeah, you've got this little far thing here. Oh, wow, didn't know this existed. So yeah, this will give you all its... Oh, I don't know what this does, but this is various simulator type things, I would assume. So yeah, I mean, this is stuff you can use in the in the vehicle assembly building, but it's mainly... bloody hell, how do I close this? With that, I would assume. Yeah, so that's mainly about flight characteristics and being able to reduce drag and things. I do use Deadly Reentry outside of Rescaled Kerbin, but the heat shields aren't big enough. There aren't any because this isn't installed. But yeah, the heat shields aren't powerful enough when you're coming back at about 8,000 meters a second. Another very important one I use, I'll get a pod so I can demonstrate some of this. One of the most important ones I use is KW Rocketry, because, well, they give you the 3.5 meter tanks, which have just become slightly obsolete, as you'll probably see in, or probably may have seen, or will see, I'm not entirely sure when I'm uploading this. But you get 3.5 meter tanks, you get these cool little Soyuz type, well, you do get some smaller ones, these cool Soyuz type boosters, just various fuel tanks for various things, just to make it much much easier and things, give you more of a kind of variance in what you can use. What I mainly use is the engines. There's this one, very important, 4,900 kilonewtons of thrust, which is the Griffin XX. And then you've got things like the Titan, and these are 3.5 meter engines. Actually, even more importantly than them, is these KW Griffin G8Ds, which I often use stacked in groups of 3, and in my latest rocket, groups of 5, which you may have seen or may be about to see. Again, not sure when I'm uploading this. Really hoping it'll be uploaded soon, but I'm gonna upload it, then keep it private, and then unprivate it while I'm in Mexico, so that I can keep kind of like giving new videos. I'm really hoping I have good enough internet just to literally just get on Facebook on my phone. That's all, not Facebook, YouTube on my phone. That's all I need. Additionally, KW Rocketry gives you these very efficient engines, which are 410. My favorite engines are these Vestas, which have a 400 ISP in vacuum and 120 kilonewtons of thrust, which kind of give a nice middle ground between the LV909s and the LVTs. They also give you a great range of SRBs, mainly, well, not mainly, I mean, there's these huge kind of Thor SRBs, varying sizes, varying sizes and powers, and then you've got these Globe SRBs, which are pretty good. They're pretty decent size, what I use on my space shuttle, not that I could build one in Rescaled Kerbin. And then they give you these kind of mid-sized SRBs about the size of some of the stock ones, and my personal favourite, these tiny little SRBs, which I use on some of my small satellite rockets in Rescaled Kerbin. So, I think that about covers KW Rocketry. I'll talk about some of the other stuff that isn't actually particularly in this series, but might be, or just I generally use later. Another very important one, suggested to me by someone, stretchy tanks. Stretchy tanks are great because, first off, you can have 5 meter tanks, or those are the biggest ones. Oh, Jesus Christ! Got to move some of this around. This is live commentary, so it's awful. So these kind of tanks, you can stretch and change textures and things like that. You can stretch and so if you need an exact amount of delta V, which you do in Rescaled Kerbin, you can do this sort of thing. They stretch up and down. not mainly, a thing I'm experimenting with right now is these. These tanks stretch sideways as well, and up and down. So, well, these are 5-meter tanks, which I'm using right now for my latest thing. Again, you may have seen it, may not have. But yeah, I'm using 5-meter tanks for my Saturn V type rocket, which isn't really very Saturn V-y, it's more Falcon Heavy-y. But anyway, you can stretch these to be as big as you like. And then you'd put some kind of engine stack on the bottom there, I would assume. All right. I'm just wondering if there are any more part mods I use. Not in, yeah, I don't think there are any more part mods installed other than B9 Aerospace, which I rarely use in this series, but I do very much like. They have a lot of cool pods, like this one. This is like a drone type pod. Well, not a drone, like a manned drone, which is very cool because, well, you can't really see it brilliantly here, but just the way it looks, the way it hangs over is awesome. It also has this Mark V kind of cockpit, this space shuttle cockpit. My favorite cockpit ever, this, yeah, you can see it folding away there, this hypersonic cockpit. Sock pit? Yeah, it's a sock pit, you just throw your socks in there. Which, like, the cockpit moves downwards and goes hypersonic mode, which is in one of my videos, so go watch that and you'll find out. Additionally, well, KW Rocketry has loads of stuff. I'm going to kind of breeze through it a bit, but it also has these cargo bays, lots of different sizes of cargo bays. The biggest ones are behemoths, which I did try to use in something, but they didn't go well. These, like, huge freaking cargo bays. I'll just throw them away really quickly. And then they also have smaller cargo bays. They have a varying range of wings, I'll note in a point. They're mainly plain parts, but you can use them in rockets. It appears I've just received a message of some description. And then they have these various adapters, so you can build very advanced planes. There's also these other type cockpits. Not cockpits, cargo bays. This a completely different type of cargo bay, which this is still an old version of B9. So wait, excuse me, you're supposed to fold away. But yeah, those fold away so they open sideways. You have, yeah, there you see right there. Those are really cool. They also have a varying range of engines. They have these. Wait, those are KW? Maybe. Well, this is either KW or B9. I'm not entirely sure. These kind of VTOL type engines, which are pretty cool. There's jet ones and not jet ones. There's those are, yeah, there's liquid fuel and oxidizer and other ones. Oh no, I think those are KW Rocketry maybe. No, they're not. They're maybe something completely different, but that is also in it. Oh no, oh yeah, those are what I was saying. Those are B9. And they also have Sabre engines, which are like Rapier engines. They're hybrid ones, but, you know, a mod. And came before the other one, came before the actual Rapier engines. There's also this awesome low-profile engine I haven't noticed before. How powerful is that? Not very. But that is really cool, because you can just kind of fit it in and it doesn't feel obtrusive like this. Like, that's huge, but it's very efficient. So, yeah. Alright. I think that's most of the things now, actually. Oh yeah, you can see these B9 wings. Not very good in the vehicle assembly building, but they have a various, like, loads of stuff. They have these various sized wings. They have some massive wings, like such. Yeah, let's just stick them on. Yeah, if you want to build a jet, and then various flaps that you can see here, and various structural wings that you can build stuff out of. They also have these Sabre intakes, which look really cool. Basically, just lots of stuff that looks more realistic or more cool, which is just generally awesome. And various nose cones, and a few scientific nose cones, and info drives, and just adds to the science, which is good. I like that. I like it when mods add to the science a bit. They also have some much lighter and much heavier duty landing gear, which are just generally good. Because I use them on my shuttle, and you can come down a little harder, it's just generally better. And then, oh yeah, they have these awesome looking RCS blocks for like space planes. They just look generally better, and they have pointing outwards direction firing bits, so you get more, so you actually don't need to carry as many RCS blocks. Oh, on the KW real quick, they have these really huge SAS blocks that wrap around your rocket, which are just generally quite useful. Yeah. Oh, and there's a lot of stuff I've realized. I have so many mods, and they all have so much stuff in them. Um, on a side note, the what is it? The KW parts. Yeah, the KW parts also have these. Where are they? Yeah, these various fuel tanks and monopropellant tanks and that sort of thing that fit in quite nicely with a plane and don't look really intrusive. Um, I think there's still a few other things. I do use procedural fairings occasionally, although I prefer KW rocketry fairings, which I realize I haven't explained because there are so many parts to things like KW rocketry. Procedural fairings, you just click these, you get a base, and then you click these little gold bits on the side, and then they form a fairing around your spacecraft in the best shape. But I often don't like how they look, so I prefer KW fairings if I can use them, which you just kind of construct out of the parts they give you. Oh, bloody hell, this... I'm not used to where these are because I often build stuff in career mode, but I haven't unlocked everything. But yeah, I'm not going to build the whole fairing, but you get the idea of those, and they look like proper fairings and such. And they also have two sizes, so you know it gives you some. God, this is 11 minutes. I just realised how many mods I have, and I have been talking flat out. I think that's all of KW now, and all of B9. A few other things I don't use too much in this. Well, I don't use in this series because mass basically is TAC life support. I use that in none of my series actually. Well, I did use it in a brief series I did, but then cancelled because no one watched it, and you know that's no fun to do that. They're just TAC life support adds a life support element. So if you have it on, you need to take enough life support to support your people, or they'll die. Your Kerbals. So that you have like time constraints, and it's just generally better. A thing I've been experimenting with is this ejection module and parachutes that give your Kerbals parachutes, or this little thing here allows your Kerbals to grab parachutes if they need them, and this little thing here ejects your Kerbals from your spacecraft or plane, and then they'll parachute down and be safe, and that's good. That seems like the majority of the mods that I can think of. There are a lot. I do often use deadly re-entry. You can guess what that is. It's a deadly re-entry. I believe that's all of them. I haven't gone through everything because there is like lots of structural panels, which I'm not going to talk about. Huge structural panels. There are just them. So yeah, that's a quick, probably very uninformative and slapdash commentary summary of all the mods I use. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this gets actually up in time, because if there's no internet where I'm staying in Mexico, then no videos. I'll probably mention that in a video kind of before I go, just so you're aware. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope maybe if you're thinking of using mods, all of the mods I use I really like. I also use Keythane occasionally. Probably should have mentioned that. It's uninstalled right now because I had to keep some mods down. But yeah, so those are just various things that make the game either harder or easier. I use mods to make stuff easier, like just generally bigger fuel tanks and better engines, because real world equals hard. The real world Kerbin is difficult. I'm having trouble getting 30 tons to space because, just click my knuckle on next to the microphone. That's horrible. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope this gets uploaded, and I hope this has been informative enough. This has been KSP with Tape. I'll see you next time. So I just went to launch a spacecraft for part of my Rescaled Kerbin series, and I thought it would just be interesting to probably add this onto the end of the mods video as just the kind of UI I have when flying a spacecraft this large. This is kind of my Falcon Heavy type setup, which is lifting... Well, depending, it's right now it's lifting Mooncraft, and it'll probably be my Saturn V type rocket, I guess. And I just thought, I just opened it up and looked at all this UI, which I always use. And obviously I have the resources tab, then the far tab, and I often have, okay, that was the wrong button. Nope. Yeah, there we go. I'll have something, oh no, flight data? Yeah, I'll often have the flight data up just to kind of stop me from flipping out and stalling, because if you deviate too much from your course, you flip out. So often, while flying a spacecraft like this is the kind of UI I have. I thought I'd just talk through it. There's the vessel info, which tells you kind of your acceleration and thrust to weight ratio and things, which is actually just generally useful. My orbit info, so I don't have to keep switching from map and things, because that would be annoying while flying something this big and uncontrollable. It also tells me various other things. My delta V stats, so I can watch my delta V, because if I screw up, well, I need to be watching my delta V. Additionally, if I do screw up and realize, okay, this straight up isn't going to work, then I can be like, oh, I'll just launch again rather than wasting time. Obviously, flight data to stop stalling, and smart ASS, or smart ass, to kill rotation if my SAS isn't strong enough. So yeah, that's just probably a little bit of extra on the end of the mods I use video, which is now like a 15-minute video, which makes me realize I use a hell of a lot of mods. And I use these mods because this is hard to fly. Yeah, so, this will either be added into, that was a really weird noise. This will either be added into the middle bit, or will be put at the end because I'm lazy. So if it is put at the end, this has been KSP with Tape. I'll see you next time.